So in the previous lecture we looked at how to validate against an XML schema. So in this video we'll go ahead and look at how to validate against the JSON schema. So now first we need to generate our JSON again. So if we go back to our app again, and we'll call this endpoint at number 5 for video game 5, and so we get a bit of JSON back for a video game. So now we'll take that JSON and we'll put it into this JSON schema toolset. Again, I'll link to this in the resources. We'll hit submit and that will generate a schema for us. We'll go ahead and copy all of that to the clipboard and then save that into a new file. So I've copied all of this text here to the clipboard. Make sure you do it on the plain, not the pretty, because I found out that this actually records the line numbers as well. So go to the plain, copy this to a clipboard, save that into a file, and then bring that file into your project. So this is the file here, video game JSON schema. So now we've got our schema in our project and on our class path. Now we need to write the test. So we'll just check that our config. So I've changed the config here back to application JSON for the headers. Now we can go ahead and write the test to test the JSON schema. So we'll say public void test video game schema JSON. And we're going to just copy the same test as before, just make the changes at the bottom because it's very, very similar. So we have our given, when, then as before, and the only bit that we need to change at the bottom is the body. Now first, again, as we did with the matches XSD and class path, we need to make a static import. So at the top we need to add in this static import for the matches the JSON schema in the class path. So make sure that you add that in. Once you have that static import, you can then simply type matches JSON schema in class path, and again we point to our file, which is video game JSON schema.json. Let's go ahead and run this test. So now it should call this endpoint, and it should be checking that the response matches this schema. So we're getting a good response. So let's open up the schema again and let's see if we can make a change to make it fail. So if we change this property name, let's change that to be an integer. And then we'll go ahead and run this test once more. We would expect this test to fail this time. And sure enough, the test fails and we get an error that the schema hasn't been validated, and where it hasn't been validated. Let me change that back before I forget. So there we are. That's how to use XSD and JSON schema in Rest Assured. I'll see you in the next lecture.